Another little H1 there. And then now let's go ahead and add this word dictionary. Okay. So we'll go ahead and save this. This is a little bit experimental. I don't know if this is going to work, and we'll reload this page. And yeah, this is not working for us. It's saying word dictionary is not defined. I think we did define that, but it's the fact that we were trying to send it a dictionary. So, okay, that's not going to work great for us. But what we can do is we can turn that into a list. So the way for us to do that is we're going to take this word dictionary and we're going to say dot items like that, and that essentially turns that into a list. Now we're not out of the clear yet, because now that we have this list that we're passing forward, we have to work with it inside of this count.html. We can't simply have this out there, because if we go back to the page and try and reload this, we're going to have the same issue. So what we need to do is we need to create a for loop. And the way to do this inside of an HTML file is we need to do our curly bracket, percentage sign, another percentage sign to kind of equal that all out. And we're going to say for, and then we're going to pass some variables that will hold the key and the value as we loop through, and then the name of the dictionary. So we're going to say, for example, for word, comma, count in, and then we're going to pass the name of this. So we'll go ahead and pass that in there. And then eventually to end this, we're going to do our curly bracket percentage and say, put the other percentage there, end for. Okay, so this allows us to essentially loop through. Now you might see a little bit of an issue here because we have the word count here and we also have it above, so we should give this a different name. Maybe we could call this count total. There we go. But essentially what this does is it loops through and we could enter in some information. So just to see if this is working, let's just go ahead and print out whatever word is, and then we'll go ahead and do a little line break after that. And let's also go ahead and say we want to know what the count total is. So we'll go ahead and paste that in and also do a line break after that. Okay, so essentially what we're doing is here in views.py, we're passing this word dictionary, which has been turned into a list. And then we're going to say, all right, we're going to loop through each item in this list. The key is going to be called word. The value is going to be called count total. And we're going to print those things out. Well, print, we're having it show up in HTML. But once we have that, let's go ahead and reload the page here. And it is not liking what I have provided. Well, I made a mistake, but I'm going to take this as a learning opportunity. I'm going to feel dumb showing this to you, but hopefully this will help you learn how to use the Django debugger here to figure out what your problem is. So you can see here, it's giving us an error and it's saying name word dictionary is not defined. And I kept thinking, well, this is because we were passing it a whole dictionary and a whole list, but then we did the for loop, like that shouldn't be an issue, and I just couldn't figure it out. And it was saying name word dictionary is not defined. And I kept thinking, well, in my HTML file here, count.html, I don't use the word dictionary except here when I'm referencing in a for loop. That's totally legal. But if we go back and look at this in some more detail, it says you're having an issue at your views.py in line 12. So it's not my HTML that's the problem, it's my views.py file. So I say, okay, views.py line 12, come back to Atom, go to line 12. When I created the word dictionary variable, I didn't set it equal to anything. I need to set it equal to an empty dictionary. So again, stupid mistake by me. All we need to do here is just say this is equal to empty curly brackets like this. So if we save this, then go ahead and reload the page. Look at that. It's running up, no problem. And we can see, woo, all of these words showing up in the count of how many times they show up. So I am kind of interested now knowing that that was the issue, not before. I kind of want to backtrack here and let's, for example, see what happens if we go to our count.html. I'm going to delete this temporarily. I'm going to copy this, delete this temporarily, and see what happens if I just print out a list here like word dictionary. Okay, we'll save this, reload the page. Well, it does print it out. I'm going to assume that it will do that too for a dictionary. This is just some curiosity here. This is, remember when I said the way that you learn is kind of by painting outside of the lines and testing things out? This is that in action. So let's try it when we just pass a dictionary, not turning it into a list. And yeah, that works too. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put things back as they were. Let's go ahead and get back all that great text. Excellent. So we now essentially have everything that we want for this website, right? Like it tells us how many words there are, shows the original text, and then we have this awesome word count, but nothing here is in order. Like this is very hard to work with. Like that, it's like, I'm not really sure what's going on here. And so what we need to do is we need to sort this list that we have. And Python is great for doing this. I love the simplicity of what we have here. So we could do all of this right here, but I think this is becoming kind of messy. And so what I'm going to do is copy this code that we have, cut it out, and before we go ahead and return things, I want to make sure that this is all sorted. So we already said .items to convert the dictionary into a list. But then the next thing that we need to do here is we need to sort this. So we're going to surround this in a sorted function, just like this. And to specify what it is that we want sorted, after we provide the list, we're going to say comma. And then the thing that we're looking for is we say we want to search on the key being equal to, and then pass in operator dot item getter in parentheses 1. So this is saying go ahead and look at the count, which if we're going from zero-based counting like 0, 1, it's saying look at the values that are inside of there, okay? And then the next thing that we want to do is say reverse is equal to true. This is saying, you know, what order it is that you want these things to happen in, okay? So this goes ahead and will sort that list for us. In fact, we should maybe assign this to a new variable, something like sorted words. So we'll go ahead and say that. I'm going to do lowercase there. So I'm going to copy the sorted words. I'm going to paste it in like that, and let's change word dictionary to say sorted words. That seems like a more appropriate name. So once we change that, we're going to have to go to our count.html and change this to also be sorted words. So once we have this in place, let's go ahead, reload the page, and oh, we get another error. Let's live fix this if we can't. Views.py line 22, operator is not defined. So let's go ahead and go back here. We have to import the code for the operator. That's what I missed. So lucky for us, it's very simple. All we got to do is up at the top here say import, not in all caps, import operator, just like that. So let's save, reload this page again, and let's see, maybe our server was having some issues. Let's reload. Boom, there we go. And now you can see we have our word count and everything is sorted. Now we're not completely done because this looks pretty ugly. One, I don't like that everything's in bold there. I want to save those H1 tags for sort of the big things. But let's go ahead and go back here. And inside of our count.html, we do have our word count. But then what we want to be doing, that's because I didn't have the ending tag there. There we go. Instead of doing these line breaks, we should have a break after one set of words. But let's do something like word space dash and then the count total. So let's save this, see what it looks like. You can totally tweak this to how you want it to be, but to me, this looks great. So, you know, we have like that equal to 13. Like that's the most common word in the Gettysburg Address. The is the next at 9, and then 2 at 8, we at 8. And you can just go down, down, down all the way through. And then we've got more of the obscure things here. So you'll notice that this isn't a perfect word counter. For example, what is that? The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th most common word is 2 dashes. Well, dashes aren't really a word. So we could get much more complex with our Python of analyzing this to be an accurate word counter. But I'm going to leave that up to you if you want to get into that. Again, the real purpose here was to show you the basics of Django, how all the information flows. So with this, we have a completed website. I know this has been a long lecture, so thanks for sticking around with me, but we're not done yet. I have one quick challenge for you because every time we learn something new, I want you to sort of go out on your own for a bit. Again, I think that's where the real learning takes place. So I have a challenge for you. I'll show you the solution to that, and then we'll go ahead and wrap everything up.